Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're all doing really well. I played a show last night for the first time in 4 months. I will just preface this by saying here in Western Australia, there's been no community transmission of COVID-19 for about 90 days. And at the moment, we're at stage 4 of coming out of lockdown, meaning it's not just kind of open slather on gatherings or anything like that, but pubs and venues are back open. They have to abide by a 2 square meter rule. That is due to lift at the start of August, provided everything goes well. And in other parts of Australia, things aren't going so well, especially in Victoria. So to anybody watching this in Victoria, my condolences. The situation absolutely sucks. But everywhere in the world, this is one of those situations where there's just things that are more important than doing gigs. People's health, the health of the most vulnerable people in our community is way more important than, kind of going out and being an idiot and playing loud music for a couple of hours. But because we are fortunate enough in Western Australia to be allowed to do that, we went out and did it on a Sunday night. We played at the Indie Bar with Robert Hinton, who's a great kind of singer-songwriter, acoustic player, and Height, who we haven't played a show with for probably 8 years. And they're awesome. Grant, the guitar player's amazing, and they sounded really, really tight and together. So it was an absolute pleasure to get up and play some music. I'm going to include some backstage footage. I'm going to do a little rig rundown for what I did on the night, and I'm going to include some live footage with just camera audio. It was a really, really intense show. It was great to see so many of my friends come out to the show, just catch up with people, see other musicians, and kind of all the things we haven't been able to do for the last 4 months. The crowd was pretty crazy. There was a whole section of people up the front kind of going mental and headbanging and, doing hair spins and that kind of thing. I really wasn't expecting it to be that intense. It was really, really fun. And I don't think I realized how much I missed playing live and how much I missed playing with the guys. It was probably one of the most enjoyable shows I've ever done. So I'm putting this up not as a way to sort of gloat, like, haha, I'm back to gigging. More of a case of like, I hope this offers some hope to everybody out there if you're still in lockdown or if you're transitioning to going back to gigging wherever you are in the world. It is such an absolute privilege to be able to do that and to be in a position like that. So I just want to share some things with you all. I hope you enjoy the footage, even though a lot of the audio quality is not too great. And as always, be safe, be good to one another. I will see you next time. Enjoy the footage. This is how you do it. And then one hand washes the other.
I'd like to look much nicer.
Am I in this?
You are now.
I don't have to be.
Boy, are you? Hang on.
The bass.
Tell us about bass.
Bass.
Yep.
Bottom. Strong. Fat.
Mate, what do you got to say for yourself?
Just farted. Sorry.
Luxuries of being back to gigging. Curling cables. Plugging them in. If you remember how to plug them in.
You got your plug. You put it in that way.
Shove it up.
Shove it in.
Pro tips. You put your in-ears in first, don't you? Before you walk out there.
You clip your keys to your
Put
belt.
your keys to your belt. Okay, this is color-coded. But I can't remember what era it's color-coded.
Red is right.
Red is right.
Blue is left.
Blue is left. See him? He's curling. So do that and you shove it right in. Oh, oh. And then with these, oh, that's coming out. Trying to curl that around. This is useful information. Here's the real trick. I do my best.
You stick the. What do you do? Stick the cord in your clothes.
Yeah.
I should do that. but I don't like the feel of it on my skin. I'm gonna get a vest.
Let's go vest shopping. Ryan Rafferty, come on down!
With Glenn Rich.
He's so rich that he can give money away.
This is a Grundy television production.
Mate, what's going on? Do you want to go vest shopping? Doesn't this feel like a kind of country shed? Who are you, Lars Ulrich?
I'll just do it as is, hey? Should I?
How are you going to play World You Gave Us? All right.
I'm just cooey.
Rat dog!
What are y'all? Y'all are rat dog?
Rat dog! Ryan, rat dog, Rafferty.
Oh, good on you, mate. Thank you.
No, don't touch your mouthwash.
Thanks, mate.
Wicked.
Now I don't have to brush my teeth. Thanks very much. How y'all doing? Okay, it's good to be back on stage with these guys. Thanks to Indie Bar for having us. You know, the last time we were up here was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. We were a 5-piece. It was open mic night. So, you know, that's not bad progress in 10 years.
And most of all, thanks to all you wonderful human beings for actually coming out and enjoying some live music. What a privilege it really is. Give yourselves a massive round of applause.
Compared around the table, drinking fire water till I can't see. Never spent in time. No more trying.
Hope you enjoyed all the silliness right there. There'll be a quick little FM3 preset rundown, and then right at the end there's going to be that full performance of Follow the Leader with the camera audio, which I know sounds really, really terrible. But just keep your eye on Ryan, who gets zapped by a bad ground connection, which he said was incredibly painful, but he doesn't even miss a note. He just keeps going on playing and singing. I didn't notice that at the gig. It was this really loud thud, and I just thought it was like, you know, someone kicked a microphone or something like that. But yeah, it was a really painful ground problem for him. Anyway, rig rundown, performance. Again, thanks for watching. Quick little rig rundown for this gig. I'm using my SC245 and the Fractal FM3. I've built a new preset around the USA Lead mid-gain amp model. So that's a Mesa Mark IV model. I normally use the Mesa Mark II C++. They both sound really, really similar, but I've been using the Mark IV a lot at home. So I figured it might be nice to kind of practice as you intend to play. This preset has 4 scenes. I'm only going to use 3 of them live. I have this straight up rhythm scene assigned to this foot switch. If I hold this foot switch, then release it, that will take me to scene 2, my lead scene, which basically engages the preamp boost, the fat switch, and a multi-delay, as well as giving me a volume boost. And then if I hit this middle foot switch, this takes me to a scene which is exactly the same as scene 1. It just gives me a rhythmic delay. And then I have a tuner and a tap tempo assigned to the foot switch here. If I hold, I get the tuner. If I don't hold and I just tap, I get the tap tempo, which is quite nice. So let's just hear this really quickly, and I'll give you a quick overview of the blocks. This is the rhythm scene. I've also got the wah on auto engage, and because I'm just using the 1 amp block, all the scene switching is seamless. Really quickly, let's go to the layout and have a look at the blocks I'm using. Essentially, it's mirroring a pretty simple setup that I used to use with my real amps and pedals live. I've got an input block, then I've got the wah and amp. I've got a noise gate between the amp and the cab. I find that just kind of works the best for the tight, chuggy stuff. I'm using a cabinet impulse that I shot of my Marshall cab with vintage 30s. I've talked about this before. The cab block is a massive part of the character of your sound, and I just found that having cabinet impulses of the cabs I'm used to really, really makes this nice and easy to dial in. Then if we scroll over, after the cabinet, I've got a parametric EQ and a multi-band compressor to just kind of like tighten up and sculpt the sound a little bit. I have a multi-delay block to do my lead delay and my rhythmic delay using the channels feature in the block. You can have 4 channels in each block. And then I've got a little bit of a room reverb at the end of it because we're on in-ears, and I just kind of think that takes a little bit of that kind of directness out of it. Let's quickly look at the overall curve of that parametric EQ. So there's some pretty aggressive high and low cuts in there. I've set the low cut to 100 Hertz and the high cut to 6500 Hertz, basically because the cymbals are going to be so loud on stage and the bass is going to be so boomy on stage that I just don't need those frequencies. My guitar needs to kind of sit in that mid-range area. Then I've taken out some of those ice pick frequencies at around 3600 and 5500 Hertz. I just kind of dialed this in using a technique I've done in a separate video where I use a looper block in front of everything to kind of highlight those really harsh frequencies. And then that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple setup. I do have a clean scene on there if I need it, but for the songs we're playing tonight, I don't need clean. I just need straight up filth.
Compared around the table, drinking fire water till I can't see. So yeah, taking another film reanimation. I can't wait to talk it over. Let's get you dying. There's a new moon rising, right on my head. Down on the knees, I left with sleeping like a dog. With hands on heart, I pledge allegiance to your blazing blood. But still you treat me like a god. Hold me up like a parable. Hang me up and bleed me dry. This rotten coal I feel expanding in my chest. It's too late, talking over. till you treat me like a god. Right on my head, down on your knees. I let you treat me like a god. With head on heart, I bear allegiance to your breathing blood. Why till you treat me like a god?
Thank you. Thanks very much.